you, everyone. I'm Katherine Hill Ritchie, and my husband was just on the last panel about digital assets, and now we're going to talk to a partner of ours, Fernando, about Venezuela. So it's the repricing opportunity of a generation. So I've worked for 8 single-family offices, 4 billionaires, and we lived in New York City and Switzerland and really have a global perspective, and we're excited to talk about Venezuela today because, as you know, with the recent changes, this opens up the country. So, Fernando, thank you for being here. There's a lot of curiosity and skepticism, obviously, around Venezuela. But before we get into the opportunity, let's start with you. Tell us about your background and your family's history in real estate investing in Venezuela. And I believe there's even an award named after your grandfather.
Yes, absolutely. Real estate has been a part of my business since 3 generations ago. My grandfather started our family firm. He was a renowned architect, a professor, and in fact, the architectural award for the Universidad Católica, which is one of the most prestigious universities in Venezuela, is named after him. My father also, he's a lawyer, and he entered the family business 45 years ago, and he has been, through his entire life, also investing in real estate, acquiring and structuring deals, and distressed assets. And I follow suit. I'm also an attorney, and I have been working in the firm since I graduated from law school. And we've also focused on basically growing the business and structuring transactions through the years. I've also built and sold several businesses across Latin America. And yeah, so that's what we've been doing for the past 20 years.
So you're both a lawyer and a real estate investor. How did those paths come together?
So in Venezuela, especially in the last 20 years, you cannot separate law from real estate. Property rights, structuring issues, and shareholding, it's pretty difficult to manage there because of the situation. So it's not a secondary issue. It's basically a very important part of the investment, if not the better part of the investment. So becoming a lawyer for me was more a strategic decision. And today our platform in Venezuela integrates, we have an in-house legal structuring team, a real estate acquisition team, and investor syndication. And this allows us to execute very efficiently and unlock value in situations where basically if you're not from there, you cannot operate quite as easily.
So let's address the big question, which is what's actually happening in Venezuela today? And why are we hearing that investment is coming back?
So this is basically the most important part of the conversation. For years, or the last decade or so, Venezuela was considered to be uninvestable. But in the last few months, we've seen a dramatic shift. First, and more importantly, energy and oil is reopening. The US has eased a lot of the sanctions and allowed to operate and contract with PDVSA, the local oil producer. And already major players like Chevron, Repsol, and Eni are re-engaging in the country. And oil production is rising again. They're saying they're going to get to a pre-sanction levels. And this is very critical because oil is the backbone of the Venezuelan economy. And second, foreign capital is already returning. The Trump administration is pushing for $100+ billion investment in energy. You maybe see in the news, but it's And you already see the investments coming in pretty hard in that regard. And institutional investors are starting to actively evaluate Venezuela again. So we are at a very early stage of capital reentry. And third, very importantly, institutional and legal aspects. From our perspective on the ground, so courts, which in real estate are very important, are starting to function better. They're not great yet, but they're better. Contracts are becoming more enforceable again. And our corporate structure there provides a strong investor protection and limited liability for future investors. So is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it's improving, and that's when the best investments are made. And we also see on the ground that the international presence is increasing relatively quickly. Business activity is returning, and so the US Embassy already opened, flights are already opening, American Airlines should be traveling direct to Venezuela so very quickly. So, and more importantly, prices have not yet caught up to this new reality.
So what about the people? Venezuela lost millions over the past decade. So how does that factor into the opportunity?
Yes, so Venezuela has roughly 33 million inhabitants, and it's almost 7 million people left. So
that's a quarter of the people left.
So that's basically the largest migration one of the largest migrations in recent history. So with the country starting to work again and we're starting to see a reversal of that. And as economic conditions stabilize, investments will return, jobs will return, and people frankly will come back. And when they do, they'll need housing, they'll need retail infrastructure. And this will create, and it's already creating a massive demand shock. And supply is limited. So in that imbalance is where we find the opportunities.
So let's talk about the real estate opportunity there and the fund and actually what you're looking to do.
Yes, so our vision is simple. We want to acquire high quality real estate at historically distressed prices. We want to reposition those assets with our legal and operational expertise there on the ground and capture the upside as the country normalizes. So it's a unique opportunity because we're entering at a very deep discount. Many of properties today are trading at a lot lower of the pre-Maduro values, and in many cases, replacement cost is significantly higher than acquisition cost. So, and we also have a proven strategy. We're very big on condo conversions. We've done over the past 20 years in the crisis, over 40 buildings. We turned them into condo conversion, and this unlocks a great amount of value by subdividing the assets, selling them individually, and increasing the total value of properties. Since we have everything integrated in our platform, we get, especially on our legal part, we get very substantial off-market access, and it gives us a lot of access to distressed properties, to family-owned properties, and complex legal situations. And these opportunities institutional investors don't simply get. So you need someone on the ground there to get good opportunities. And as I mentioned, we offer a full vertical integration. We do the legal structuring in-house, we do the acquisition, we do all the due diligence process and the execution. And this significantly reduces our execution risk. Regarding income and appreciation, so rental markets have been very difficult in the past years, but they're beginning to stabilize. And legal enforcement of leases, it's already improving.
So finally, what are you here to do today, I think? What are you looking from possible partnerships or investors?
We're looking for partners and investors have a like-minded long-term investment and who are looking for an asymmetric opportunities. And what we bring to the table is 70 plus years of family experience, a fully integrated platform, deep local knowledge, and a proven execution record. And this, we entry at a generational lows. We give exposure to a country in transition, and we'll get a significant upside as capital flows back in. And so this is not a normal market cycle. This is a repricing of the entire country. And those kinds of opportunities don't come very often.
Fernando, this has been incredibly insightful, and it sounds like we're at a very unique moment for Venezuela. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so we truly believe we are early, and in markets like this, being early is very important. So I think we're out of time, sorry, but but thank you very much for everything, and yeah.
We'll be here for the conference. We'd love to talk to you more about Venezuela.
Thank you.